Hello, I am a Spiceman and welcome to my Windwalker monk guide. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I've been asked in a lot of M0s how I'm doing so much damage, and to be honest, Windwalker monk right now is in a very good spot. So if you want to pick this spec up, you're probably gonna have a very good time. So the reason this is a beginner's guide is because I'm only gonna go over like how to actually like my talent and how to actually get the DPS out there basically. So I'm not gonna go over the min-max stuff, just the sort of basic stuff of it. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off with the talent. Link down below, or rather text that you can copy and paste in here into your talent build, so you can import it in here and it will copy this. You don't have to go over. Just gonna talk about it real quick. This right here, the AOE Touch of Death, is a very high DPS output right now for Dragonflight. As you can see here, it did 9% of my damage. I kind of failed in this dungeon specifically, so it would have done like maybe even up to 15% sometimes. So this is a very good talent to go. And also I'm going Skyreach instead of Bone Dust Brew, because for lower keys right now where things die pretty fast, Skyreach is just a incredibly good talent. Like, it's just insane what you can do with it, which I'm gonna go over in just a second. But yeah, there's not much else to really go over with the talents. Just copy this in. Something to note is that we're not going Whirling Dragon Punch, and we're not going Rushing Jade Wind or Bone Dust Brew. So those talents are, or those abilities rather, are basically 100% lost. They're very annoying to use and doesn't really do you any good anyways. So there's that. We're gonna go into the DPS for AOE first. So yeah, how to start off. You always want to start off with the Tiger Palm, because what Tiger Palm does now is, with the Skyreach talent, is that Tiger Palm also applies effect which increases your critical strike chance by 50% for 6 seconds on that target. This effect cannot be applied more than once per minute. So for 6 seconds after you have Tiger Palm the target, you will do 50% more crits to that target. That is insane. So that is what you are trying to play around as much as possible. It is hard to play around it all the time, but that's the more min-maxy stuff. But that is the goal of it basically. So there's 2 to 3 things you really wanna play around with, and that is the Skyreach talent, the spin and crane kick stacks, obviously, as usual. But also you're going with the hit combo talent now, instead of because you didn't have this really in Shadowlands when you went into Mythic Plus. So this is actually very important, because in Shadowlands you would just throw down Bone Dust Brew and just spam spin and crane kick and you did nothing else. But now it's very different, because you never ever want to use one ability twice. Like, there's just no way you're gonna do that. So something else to note is that your Blackout Kick right now is also basically an AOE ability. So as you can see right here, if I Blackout Kick, it applies the spin and crane kick buff to 2 targets more. So this is also a change from like the Season 3 build in Shadowlands. So this is actually a kind of important thing to note. This means that you don't have to go around every single target if you don't have this Storm, Earth and Fire up. You don't have to go around every single target to apply your spin and crane kick buff, which means you can pop your CDs, you pop your Storm, Earth and Fire, and you basically only have to do 1 Blackout Kick. So let's see here, I pop my Storm, Earth and Fire, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and I got 5 stacks just from that. So that's basically it. Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, and you got 5 stacks already. So that's a very fast. And also, as you can see, I applied Tiger Palm, the Tiger Palm Skyreach buff to 2 more targets, because I had Stormnet and Fire. So we're gonna go over a very basic rotation in a Mythic Plus dungeon scenario. So specifically here we have 5 targets. So you're gonna start off, if you have your CDs up, you go Schwen, Storm with the Fire, and then you just Tiger Palm. It's Tiger Palm into Blackout Kick, into Tiger Palming another target. You want to do that because you want to pop all your like high damage abilities onto a fresh target that has a fresh Skyreach on it. So basically Tiger Palm into Blackout Kick, into Tiger Palm another target, and then you want the Thunder Fist one. Strike of the Windlord it's called. Thunder Fist is the passive of it. And that will give you a massive burst. And then you want to try and apply Skyreach to as many targets as possible. So basically, but you never use it twice. You never Tiger Palm twice. So to show you what it looks like, Schwen, Storm with the Fire, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm another target, Thunder Fist. And I'm already up to 70k DPS. And I haven't barely touched my abilities. You can see here, there's only one target left that doesn't have the Skyreach on. So I'm just gonna attack that and just do Fist of Fury. And then you can just play around with whatever you like. You can do Spinning Crane Kick. You can do some more Blackout Kicks to refresh your Spinning Crane Kick debuff, or buff rather. And now we got a proc. You always want to use your procs from Spinning Crane Kick. You don't want to use the proc after you have done a Spinning Crane Kick though. This is also very important because of the mastery and the hit combo. So you never want to lose your hit combo, and you don't want to mess with your mastery because mastery is really good right now. So that is a very basic AOE opener. So the priorities here are procs on Spinning Crane Kick with 5 stacks is always the way to go. But after that, it's you go Strike of the Windlord, Fist of Fury, and then Spinning Crane Kick. And also you want to keep your energy below 120. So yeah, basically simple. Play around with the Skyreach talent. If you're finding it hard to like see which target has this debuff or not, you can see here it has the debuff. The Skyreach Exhaustion is called, if you want to track it on your weak horse or whatever, or do some other tracking stuff for it. It's called Skyreach Exhaustion. But if you're having trouble finding it, just find your own way to track it. I just have it on top of my target like that, and I'm finding it pretty easy to keep track of. It's kind of important because 50% crit is just nuts, especially this early into the expansion. 50% crit is just insane right now. And also something to note, just use Expel Harm like in between packs. And if you have time, just cast Chi Burst before you jump into the pack, because it will give you like 2 to 3 Chi. So that is also very good, because starting off a pack with as much Chi as possible is very good. And then the last thing about AOE, in keys you want to use Touch of Death. You don't want to use it on like 1 or 2 targets. You preferably want to use it on 4 to 5 targets. So basically, if you have like 5, 6, 7 targets and one target is getting low, just spam Touch of Death on that target so you can snipe it. And then you want to find the lowest target so you can get your next Touch of Death off. Because of this talent right here. Touch of Death deals 20% damage, increased damage, and can be used a second time within 5 seconds before its cooldown is triggered. So that talent right there makes it so you have to snipe one, and then you have to find a low target and snipe that as well. And that will just boost your DPS to the skies. And that means in lower keys, you don't want to use all your cooldowns. And if the pack's gonna die very fast, it's very unnecessary to use Touch of Death, because then you will just have your cooldowns running and the uptime of it will just be 100% unnecessary. So I try to do my cooldowns on one pack, and then I do Touch of Death on the next pack, and then I might have cooldowns up for the other. So I basically always have one cooldown for every single pack. Okay, so going into our single target. This is only from Mythic Plus, by the way, so this is with the Mythic Plus talents. I won't go into the raid DPS single target right now, because the raid is not out yet. So we don't really know what the best talent will be for it yet, but this will be for the Mythic Plus single target. So what you want to do, same thing, if you have Schwen up, if you have Storm with the Fire, just use them before you jump in, or like as you jump in basically. Also expel harm, Chi burst and all that, so you get as much Chi as possible. And you always want to start off with a Tiger Palm, and this is because of the Skyreach talent obviously. But after you have done your Tiger Palm, assuming you have done your expel harm and Chi burst, you should have around 4 to 5 Chi, which makes it so you can use your Strike of the Windlord and a Fist of Fury. If you can't do Fist of Fury, you do a Rising Sun Kick. So basically, expel harm, I do my Chi burst into Schwen, Storm with Fire, I do Strike of the Windlord and Fist of Fury. And sometimes in Mythic Plus, I've been able to burst up to 80k in those first 6 seconds. And then if you crit on your Rising Sun Kick again, you get your Fist of Fury back, and it's just insane. So yeah, that is basically the opener for the single target, which can make you burst like crazy. You see I did 500k there in like no time at all. But for the rotation, there's really not a rotation. The only thing you want to keep track of is to have these 3 abilities on cooldown always. So you don't ever want to have like Strike of the Windlord up for like 5 to 10 seconds and not use it, because this is a very, very, very high damage ability. And same with Rising Sun Kick, same with Fist of Fury. So basically, you just have to kind of feel the energy management of it, because sometimes you will run out of energy and you don't have any Chi, and you're just sitting there like, okay, I can't do Tiger Palm, but I have all these 3 available to use. So you get in a very, very tight spot, especially in single target, so that you just have to basically feel out. But that will come after a while. After you get used to the monk spec, you will just get the feel of it basically. But yeah, those are the priorities. Thunder, Strike of the Windlord, Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick. All of these 3 abilities does insane damage. Also, if you have 3 stacks of Blackout Kick, you want to use that, because that is very, very good right now as well, since it both because it does insane damage, but also because it can reset the cooldown of Rising Sun Kick, and it reduces the cooldown of Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick. So Blackout Kick also very good ability, but the damage of it, like just with 1 stack, is not as good as these 3. So yeah, because of procs, it's really hard to tell you a specific rotation you want to go with. It's more about priorities. But the priorities should be on screen right now. And also, Spinning Crane Kick, even though you get a proc, if you only have 1 stack, don't use Spinning Crane Kick in single target. You can use it if you don't have anything else. Like if all of these are on cooldown, you don't have any energy, you're maxed out on Chi or whatever, you just use the Spinning Crane Kick, I guess, but otherwise it's just very, very bad. For stat priority, just eye level, basically. Right now in the beginning of the expansion, eye level is extremely important. So if something is like 3 eye levels or 6, 10 eye levels above, but it has haste, you still want to use it. Like, I'm using these just because of the eye level. I had like 350 bracers before, but I got this eye level from a friend of mine. So he was only able to make haste, but since the agility is just way, way higher, it's better to use. If you have to prioritize something, it's versatility first, and then mastery. It's in a very, very good spot right now because you don't use Boneless Brew anymore. Versatility, mastery, crit is also very good, but not as good because of the Skyreach talent, because you get so much crit from Skyreach. You don't want to go as much crit, but it's still a very, very good. It's still a very good stat for you, just not in the burst window. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this guide for Windwalker Monk. Let me know if there's anything else you wonder. I'm streaming on Twitch. I have a schedule on Twitch you can watch down here. I try to stream Mythic Plus on my Monk as much as possible because that is what people seem to enjoy the most. So I hope to see you there. Until next time. See ya.